Happy Workout Wednesday and Earth Day, Midtown. I'm Jackie with Copiana, and we are a patented aeroponic technology that makes growing food easier than ever. At Copiana, we bring real local food production to people and places that you never thought possible before. We are thrilled to partner with Colony Square and share with you a combination of Workout Wednesday and a celebration for Earth Day. Believe it or not, gardening provides a really good workout and also gives back to our mind, body, and soul. And today, we'll share with you how to set up and grow your own garden at home. Fun not just for yourself, but for the entire family. Enjoy the workout and happy Earth Day, Midtown.
Hey guys, it's Carter with Copiana, and I'm going to be building a raised bed with y'all today. First off, we're going to go over our tools. So right here, we just have a cordless saw, tape measure, some deck screws, and then just your regular drill. The next thing is you can use basically any piece of wood, but we're gonna have something to put into the corner so we have something to drill into. And then we're gonna have 4 2x4s that we're gonna put and use for the edges. You can make this as high as you wanna go, but for this example, we're just gonna go 1 story high per se. So right here, I just marked off 4 3.5-inch pieces for our braces, since we're only gonna make this 1 2x4 high. It's going to depend on how high you want to make it. So let's say you're making it 3 2x4s high. You're going to need to figure out that height and then just cut 4 pieces to that length. All right, so now I'm just going to measure out 2 6-foot pieces and 2 3-foot pieces. All right, so we're gonna take this first 6-foot piece, and we're gonna put our little brace right here in the corner, and we're gonna screw that brace in to the first 6-foot 2x4. What this is gonna do is add some structural integrity, and it's gonna give us a place to put our screws. So now that we have this piece right here with our 2 braces stuck on, we're just gonna take it and we're gonna make a corner right here. And so we're gonna be drilling into this brace that's sticking up right here. And it might help if you have a friend to hold it in place. All right, so here's our finished raised bed. This is just a super simple, just 1 2x4 high one. You can make it as high as you want. Something to keep in mind is that whenever you're on cement, you're gonna wanna make it higher because you're gonna need more room for those roots to grow. This one specifically, we could put this one maybe on some turf or on some other soil and just have some good fertilized soil on top to get the plant started. If you don't have the materials or tools to build this on your own, there's also some great kits out there at places like Home Depot and Lowe's.
Hey guys, I'm Jeffrey Arner. I'm the greenhouse manager here at Copiana, and I'm gonna tell you all a little bit about the advantages of a raised bed and how to plant in your raised bed. So you might be thinking, that kind of looks like a lot of work, why should I do it? Well, with the raised bed, you do get some advantages that you're not gonna have if you're planting traditionally in the ground. So one thing about raised beds is the soil in a raised bed actually warms up quicker, which can extend the life of your growing season earlier into the spring. The reason that this is possible is because there's less volume of soil that needs to get warmed up, and we're not accounting for groundwater that has to get warmed up. Another advantage that you'll have with the raised bed is you can avoid some of your traditional problems like compaction of your soil. Since you have a well-defined edge of your planting area, no one should be walking in this, and that'll be good for compaction and that'll help the roots breathe. Another great thing about raised beds is they're very adaptable. You can have them fit into almost any area, and you can also make them taller in case you're working with children, elderly people, or people with disabilities to help access be a lot easier for them. So those are some of the advantages of a raised bed. Now let's talk about filling it with your soil and getting it prepped for planting. So you can use any planting soil that you can find at Home Depot, or even some dirt if you have it in your backyard. So one important thing to think about when you're going to get your soil is how much do you need? It can be really frustrating to run to the store and realize you didn't get enough soil to fill your raised bed. So it's important to remember that we're working with cubic feet, not square feet here. So when we do our calculation, we're gonna do the length of our raised bed, which for us is 6 feet. We're gonna multiply that by the width of our raised bed. For us, that's gonna be 3 feet. And then we're gonna multiply it by the height of our board here, minus about 1 inch or 2 to leave a little space for that dirt. So for us, probably about 3 inches. So once you get your soil from the store, it's time to fill it up. It's pretty easy. You're just gonna dump it like you saw in our video here. You can also add in organic matter or fertilizer based on recommendations that you can find online. Generally, it's gonna be a 10-10-10 fertilizer. That's gonna be 10% nitrogen, 10% phosphorus, and 10% potassium, which will be adequate for most plants. You can also add organic matter at 15 to 30% of the volume of your raised bed. And when you add that in, it's as simple as putting it on top and then just giving it a nice hand till in the soil and then smoothing it back out. So now we're gonna talk about planting your raised bed. You can do a variety of things in raised beds, anything from annual and perennial flowers to herbs, lettuce, or fruiting plants. Today, we're gonna use herbs. We're gonna use some lavender to give you an example of how you're gonna plant your raised bed. So the first step before the planting, since we grow in rock wool here at Copiana, is I'm gonna go ahead and strip that rock wool layer away from the seedling. And if you ever happen to get any seedlings from us, this is gonna be your first step as well. All right, so now we're gonna actually plant our lavender here. So we looked up our spacing and it says about 2 to 3 feet since lavender gets so wide. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna come in here, we're gonna make a little hole with our hand, place our seedling. You want the base, which is called the crown of the plant, right about at soil level. You don't wanna bury it too deep. And then you're just going to fill the soil in around your plant. Don't pat the soil down and compact your root structure. That kind of defeats the purpose of not having foot traffic and not having compaction on your plant. So we'll do the same thing for the next ones. We're gonna eyeball our spacing here, dig our hole, have the crown at the soil line and fill in. And then we're just gonna repeat for all 4 plants that we have here. So we'll do our last plant right here. Smooth that out, and we get an end product of something like this. You can grow a large amount of things in here, and it's as simple as hopping on Google, doing a little bit of research. What are your fertility requirements? What are your spacing requirements? What temperature does that plant like? How much water does it like? With a few just little pieces of information like that, you should be able to grow really successfully in a raised bed at home.